Welcome back. You're listening to Fairfield County Talk Radio, produced by Sharc Creative and made possible by our title sponsor, Tough Lawn Service, and Fairfield County Tick Control. Thank you, Lisa, and everybody over there on the entire team. We welcome you to another episode of Isolation Therapy in our series. And today we're with Sean Osgood, the Director of Operations at Purple Frog Graphics. He's an experienced leadership development specialist and has demonstrated a history of working in the supply chain industry. He's skilled in planning, alternative information systems, a strong operations guy, a professional with a bachelor's degree. And now here's where it goes down from Penn State University, I'm sorry to say. As you're talking to a Syracuse Orange, it's a little tough for me to get that Penn State Nittany Lion out of my mouth. But anyhow, obviously a great school, a great background. You're a dynamic guy. I'm so proud of you, truthfully. Just been following you a little bit. And as you have now been a professional of sorts and really running this Purple Frog Graphics, which is just a dynamite company, we're really excited to have you today, Sean. So thanks.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure. It's really a privilege as well. And something I've been very excited about just in our conversations to really jump on with Fairfield County Talk Radio and, certainly tell a little bit about what we've been doing through the last really year and the challenges we face along with everybody else, as well as to kind of talk a little bit about a new venture we've got going on.
Yeah.
And I know we'll get into that, but it's really a pleasure to be with you. And I won't take the slight on Penn State at all. I appreciate it. The banter is good, especially as we get into the conference tournaments area here.
Yeah, no, it is. In today's no stranger to us. We're heading out. I'll be heading out today to watch another game in the ACC tournament that Syracuse is playing in. So we'll see. But anyhow, look, a lot has changed, right? This is our isolation therapy series. So we're really covering businesses and how they've had to navigate through the waters during this past year. What are some of the early measures that your business and team had to take on during these uncertain times through the pandemic? Sean, could you explain to us what you've had to do?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, it's to your point, it's been a challenging last year and even a little bit more than a year now as we encroach upon this mid-March period. I remember it vividly right around this time last year as we talked about conference tournaments and basketball. It sticks out to me as one evening in particular when a lot of this news really started to become legitimized. There was a lot of different things going around, different sources of information, what was real, what wasn't. And I think regardless of what was real and credible information, what was coming out, the severity of the situation we were about to embark on, our business took a little bit of a different lens. We said that whatever may be happening or may be occurring, we want to be well out in front of it. We definitely do not want to be behind the eight ball because ultimately, from a business perspective, the most important thing about our business is our people. And we took that to heart in saying that we can't afford to be behind on any one initiative or another as it relates to preparing ourselves. So well before any sort of major shutdowns occurred that came down from local governments or even state governments, we had a plan in place to go out and really stock up on supplies. You talk about PPE equipment and a lot of the different things you need to be able to run your business and do it with the lens of safety. We did that up front. We went out, got a lot of supplies, ensured that we had what we needed before the big rush came about. And really that took a span of time of really certainly a couple of days and a couple of weeks to start. But it was something that we've seen has now progressed through this last year, is that we're always in tune with what our supplies are as it relates to not only the materials we need to run our business, but those that we need to protect those who run our business.
Right. There's a lot of planning involved there.
Absolutely.
And, it's almost like a chess game, right? You got to think a couple of moves ahead.
Yeah.
And so you guys are based in Florida, right?
We are indeed. So we are based out of West Palm Beach, Florida. We did recently, the beginning of this year in 2021, open up our newest facility right there in Wilton, Connecticut.
Yeah.
One of the things I was going to get into as well was that we took a lot of the learnings that we had here from West Palm, where at the beginning or the outset of the pandemic, and brought that to our new location. So where we were embarking on something completely new and unfamiliar at the beginning, in March last year in Florida, we really had those learnings applied directly right off the bat in Wilton, in our new facility in Connecticut. Right.
Which explains part of the reason why you're on Fairfield County Talk Radio, because you're right here in Wilton, which is in the heart of Fairfield. And
Right.
I know Wilton is very excited to have you guys right here in our backyard. Although, you do things certainly for people locally, but you can also work apparently for global industries, right?
Right. Absolutely. So, to provide a little bit of background on why we're there in Fairfield County, it's a great marketplace, first and foremost. There's a lot of opportunity. There's so many businesses of all varying sizes and scopes that we think we can partner with and be a really good branding partner. I think there's all these great visions and creativity that folks have, and where we come into play at Purple Frog Graphics is about trying to help that come to life. And so we did start down here in West Palm Beach, Florida, but there's an excellent opportunity in play up in Connecticut, up in the Fairfield County area. And to your point, we do have a lot of services that even go beyond the scope of just Florida and Connecticut. We have a print leg of our business that, from a production standpoint, we're able to produce in multiple different locations, but that also extends to promotional products. And we can really ship all over the country. And it's something that we've been able to really start to leverage more of now that we are present in 2 locations spanning the East Coast.
And it's great that you're able to do that, and you're able to do it out of a few different places. And clearly, we're very happy to have you here. As I put behind me, the Purple Frog Graphics, print it, brand it, stick it, and you've ingrained yourself in the local community. We're talking about the Wilton Little League, which you're a proud sponsor of. So that's how I certainly have been able to get a lens into your company to see your creative ideas and how you guys operate. It's truly professional, and you're doing a service to a lot of the really wonderful sponsors that we have here. So thank you for that. And as a result of that, I've been able to again, see how you guys operate. What are some of the key attributes or any keys or strategies to your early success in navigating through this, the challenging business landscape?
It's a great question. I remember one conversation in particular we had as a team, and that's one of the things that we saw early on was we try when we're inside of the office or now both offices, both production facilities, to reduce the number of scheduled meetings that we do have, because we find that we're able to just be out on the floor in production, and that's where the creativity is sparked. But we didn't really have that opportunity when we went to a situation where a lot of our team was working outside the office. So we did have to have these weekly touch points as a team where it became kind of something you quite literally put on your calendar, where we get to all be back together again, albeit virtually, and have conversations. And so one of the keys to our success was in these conversations, bringing up really good, sound growth strategies, creative ideas for growth. And I think what we saw is that having everybody bring those ideas to the forefront in an open forum to talk them out helped us to pivot from where we had a certain business model at the beginning that was flipped a little bit on its head, most folks, as the pandemic started. And really, we can attribute a lot of our success in pivoting and what we sold and our approach to the business model through the pandemic to those early meetings and that open communication. There's one conversation in particular I like to bring up, and we had a conversation about what it is that we see ourselves as. Who do we see ourselves as? And, we can go in a couple different directions. We're faced with this challenge that unfortunately everybody has been thrust into. How we react to it is going to mean the difference in our business versus, what it can be and what it will be. And so we looked at it as saying we are going to be fighters. We're going to fight through this. And that was really the mantra through everything we did was let's fight through the adversity. Let's fight through the challenges that everybody's faced with and find a way to pivot and be innovative in both our product offering and in how we produce it and how we do it. And I attribute a large part of our success to that conversation right there as a group to say, hey, we can do this. We just have to band together, communicate, and really pull for each other in a challenging time while providing great resources for folks.
Sean, it's not about the fall, right? It's about how you get up from that fall. So with so many people, and again, you're listening to Fairfield County Talk Radio on our isolation therapy series, where we're really talking about how businesses have had to transition during a very difficult time. I mean, so many of our friends in business are struggling and still struggling because of certain verticals that you might be in. But it's really about what happens after that, right? And how you figure out ways to get through it. And, it also becomes reliant on others, and hopefully people are there's a helping hand out there. Let's talk about, the ways that you found your business to be stronger, and what you think it will be like after the COVID-19 environment, and what will stick then. What do you think is going to make it through, and what kind of challenges will you have afterwards?
Absolutely. And I think it'll tie in and to piggyback off of the point you had just made about how there's some folks who are in slightly different positions because of the verticals they're in. We're in a unique position, I think, at Purple Frog to help those types of businesses, those types of people, to say, what challenges do you face and how are you looking to pivot, and how can we best help you brand that, best get out there and make your pivot as well. And so when you talk about things that result from this challenging last year and what we think will be a lasting part of our business as a result of it, I think a lot has to do with some of our internal systems, whether it be with communication or information technology and the way we go about our IT services. And you saw that at the beginning of this, you really didn't maybe have as much by way of virtual connection outside of your, brick and mortar facility. What we saw is early on, we had to make sure that everybody had capability outside the office virtually. They were able to get in on the systems to be able to connect and communicate without being face-to-face in person. The ability to even just pull files. With us being in a production-facing environment, there's files that get shared across the organization. And that was one of those things that we had to develop further and make sure was really sound, which just for years to come will be a strong foundation for a business to be able to operate. As well as when you talk about developing from one location to another, we were able to take some of those learnings as far as sharing files, which at one point was just virtually to people within our own business at one location, to now sharing them with folks who are in a second location up north in Connecticut. So there's those types of things, those foundational business practices were those that grew. But I think the most impactful is absolutely just the mindset of our people, in that you're faced with a challenge that no one has faced, and a challenge that no one has faced the likes of, and you're able to pivot and persevere through that. There's no saying what you can do then going forward in maybe a quote unquote normal business environment. And I think that the strategies we employed to pivot, to innovate, to be more creative, think outside the box, or create an entirely new box is the lasting strategy or element to our business that I think will have a strong impact for years to come.
Well, Sean, it doesn't surprise me one bit that you've taken on a positive attitude and really learning from it. And it sounds like your people are doing the same thing. So you will absolutely be stronger for it. Again, you guys are doing wonderful things. You've been doing wonderful things as it is. And we love the name, Purple Frog Graphics. Just love it. The Purple Frog, I kind of know where it came from. If you want to share with our audience where it came from, if that's appropriate, go right ahead. And we'll finish off on that note.
So the Purple Frog name, and we love the name and the logo, because you can see something like this that you see here on my pullover, traveling in an airport or out and about in public, and the name is unmistakable. It's a purple frog, right? And so it starts conversations, and folks want to know exactly the question you just asked. And where the name really comes from is our founders. They built a business previously where they were receiving marketing services, things like decals and banners and all sorts of different print materials and promotional products to help them grow their brand from a whole bunch of different vendors. Something was coming from one, another from another, and all the while the service that they felt they were getting was really not as impactful or as great as they thought it could be. And so there was the vision that was born was such that, well, why can't we maybe do that ourselves, right? Why can't we create something to fill a business need that we know we're having and that other folks may very well likely be having as well? And so that was the initial vision, was to produce or I guess create a business model that is just at the core of it is an excellent, an unmatched, unparalleled customer experience, one that really nobody has seen the likes of, especially in the marketing services or print and promotional products environment. When they were building this business model, it was in a suburb of Charlotte, North Carolina, where one of our founders lived on a lake there. It was Purple Lake. And really this great business model came about, this ability to provide a customer with an unmatched experience at competitive pricing and at superior quality. Everything was falling into place. The business model was really looking sound. The one thing that was missing was the name. What do we call this business? How do we come up with something that people will gravitate towards and understand that it's not just about the customer service, it also is customer service with an innovative lens around it. And it became frustrating. It was the name. It's the first thing you're going to see and know about the business. It has to be right. So the adage that we like to use is that our founders grew purple with frustration about this name concept coming about. And one evening on that lake, there was a chorus of frogs that were kind of barking out, and it was one of these things that really just in the midst of this naming process, how do we come up with the right name and pair it? Purple Frog came to be. It just was going purple with frustration about these frogs, about the concept of how do we get the best name, the best branding, and Purple Frog Graphics came to be. And it's something that we just have seen stands the test of time, in the sense of everywhere we go, all the different conversations we have, people just say they love the purple idea. And brand.
The name speaks for itself, and it's memorable. In marketing, you certainly want to have a name that's memorable. And I can picture this owner where the inspiration came from, with just frustrated and having the blood rush to his head, but at the same time, this genius idea comes about. And clearly the powers that be that started the business have come from some really incredible businesses as well, where they were utilizing a lot of these services. And so there's no secret there that it makes sense that they felt that need through another circumstance that led to the business. So good stuff. Sean, it's really been great talking with you here on Fairfield County Talk Radio. Once again, we are produced by Sharc Creative. I'm made possible by our friends over at Tough Lawn Lawn Service and Fairfield County Tick Control. We are on isolation therapy. Please make sure to click the subscribe button under YouTube at Sharc Creative for more locally inspired stories and spotlights in our community throughout Fairfield County. We'll be back for more. Sean, good luck to you. Purple Frog Graphics, Wilton Little League, thanks for your help with that. And we'll be taking the field soon. And all of your banners will be across the outfield. Kids will be exchanging the stickers that we put together under the sticker program that we helped develop. And I'm looking forward to building more with you.
Us as well. Thanks for the opportunity. We appreciate it.